Once upon a time, in a vibrant city of Lagos, there lived a man named Banji, a sharp looking man, full of purpose. He was in his 30s. Banji was married to Dola, a humble and kind hearted woman from a small town. She wasn't loud or flashy, but she carried herself with quiet dignity. The only thing Banji and his mother, named Alaba, ever noticed about her was that she only had a secondary school certificate. When Diola and Banji got married, his mother cried every day and tell him, "This woman you marry is not your level. You are a graduate, worked in the city. How will she stand beside you among your colleagues, among the people who matter?" Banji loved Diola once, at least he thought he did. But over time, poisoned by his mother's words, how she sang it every day like a song, and tempted by the city lights, he began to change. Diola served them lunch one afternoon. She went back into the kitchen. "Mother," Banji said, "she looked like a pig. She is not even attractive." "You see," his mother replied, "this woman didn't worth you at all. She is too fat." "Yes, mother, I agree with you. I can never allow this pig to have my first child," Banji said. Alaba added, "Like I said every time, you are not in the same level." They both laughed. Banji thought having another woman outside would be the best option for him than having a child with a fat woman that looked like a pig. Weeks later, she met a woman named Mola. She was sharp and naturally manipulative. She was a different woman, confident, always wear designer shoes and spoke pure English, fake but believable. She had been watching Banji for months. Whenever he packed and bought Bolly from a woman beside her mother's store, handsome, well dressed, he must come from a respectable family, Mola said. But what attracted her most was his pride and arrogance because they fit each other in that way. One day, Banji came to buy Bolly as usual. Then she approached him. Then their affair started immediately and fast. Drinks, beer at clubs, hotel rooms, late night calls. Within 3 months, she saw him was already talking about his frustration with Diola. "I don't know what I saw in her that makes me to marry her. She is too fat. She didn't fit me at all." Banji will tell Mola, "I don't want to have my first child with a pig like her." Mola will laugh. Though they were dating already, Mola still knew she has to win two people, Banji and his mother Alaba. Banji told his mother that his net caught a big fish. "Wow," Alaba said, "that is good." Alaba supported his son to have another woman outside. Alaba brought it up over a quiet Sunday lunch. "You know, Banji," she said, drinking a pepper soup slowly, "this girl, she hasn't gotten pregnant yet. And who knows, maybe there is something wrong with her. You see these village girls, they always hide their sickness until it is too late." Alaba adjusts and sat right. "What I'm saying is that we must not allow her to deceive us. She may later get pregnant, and you don't want that. Besides, our wife who will give us our first child is on her way. There is something we can do fast and quietly. You don't have to tell her. It is not like it will harm her. Just something to make sure she won't get pregnant." Alaba went to her pharmacist, a shady man in a small back street chemist shop, who sold her crushed birth control pills and told her how to dose them. "Crush half of a tablet," he instructed. "Mix it into her tea or pap. She won't notice, just enough to suppress her womb." Banji was against it at first, but the thought that Mola will give him his first child pushed him over the edge. He started making Diola tea every morning, sometimes serve her on the bed. Diola found it new and also found it sweet at first. "Oh, ho, ho, my husband is taking care of me," she would laugh, drinking the tea with a smile. Little did she know each cup was laced, and it was not just once or twice. For months, he carefully added the powder, even mixing it into a pap or fresh juice. One day, after Banji returned home, she cried about her inability to conceive. He held her and said, "My love, maybe it is just stress. Don't worry, God's time is the best." While Banji and his mother will laugh at her in secret, Banji will even took her to facility clinic, always make sure he replaced the drug with the one they gave her from the clinic to keep the dosage steady so she will not accidentally get pregnant. Deola took the morning tea her husband prepared with a smile, not knowing he always secretly crushing birth control pills, while Banji spent nights with Mola, planning a future she had carefully painted in his imagination. Meanwhile, Alaba would sneak into Deola's room, checking her calendar, tracking her period, making jokes about barren woman. This is why a man must have another option, she said once into Deola's face. Deola was confused and heartbroken, blames herself for her infertility. She prayed, visit hospitals, unaware she has been destroyed in her own home, while Banji and his mother laughed behind her back, confident in their solution. So one day, after a romantic evening, she dramatically placed his hand on her belly and said, "Baby, I think I am pregnant." Banji was shocked. But how? He asked. What did you mean how? Then he asked again, are you sure? Yes, she replied. I've missed my period and my breasts are haunting me. I took a test already. Mola showed Banji a used pregnancy test positive. What he didn't know was that she had borrowed it from her friend, someone who was actually pregnant. A week later, Mola brought him a fake pregnancy result. She had downloaded it from the internet and replaced the patient's name with her own. Using Photoshop, I want to keep it, she said. I can't abort your child, dramatically holding her stomach. This is real. I need you, Banji, even if you don't leave your wife. Banji was shaken, but part of him felt proud. At least someone is going to give him his first child, not from that pig at home. And he wasn't ready for the wars of two women bearing his children, especially not with a wife who wasn't even educated. Banji went back home and told his mother. When he told Alaba, her face lights up like a Christmas tree. You see, God has done it for us. Yes, a proper woman, a real woman will give us our first child. That girl in your house, she is a curse. Immediately, her pregnancy was announced. Once Mola announced her pregnancy, the household Deola once called home turned into a battlefield. Suddenly, Deola was no longer wife. She was now a problem, a load, a mistake they needed to fix. Alaba became a storm. Gone were the first smiles. Now she didn't even pretend. She insulted Deola openly, loudly, with no respect. You have been here for many years. No child, just occupying space and wasting my son's time. Alaba began locking the food cupboard at night. She threw away Deola's personal things, claiming Mola will be moving in soon. Deola was sitting in the living room when Alaba came and took down Deola's wedding photo from the living room wall, replacing it with a photo of Banji alone, dressed in suit. Mother, what are you doing? Deola asked. Who is your mother? Alaba asked, eased and walked away. Alaba stopped Deola from washing their clothes, told her to wash her clothes separately as if she carried some disease. Mola came one weekend to visit Alaba. That evening, Deola entered the kitchen to cook. Alaba screamed, "Why are you touching the pot? You want to poison Mola's baby. Abi, please don't use your barren hands to curse our blessings." Even she knew she and Banji had been giving her drugs every morning. Banji said nothing. He just sat there massaging Mola's legs. That night she cried her eyes out and prayed like she would not pray again. Banji no longer spoke to her with warmth. No more my love, no more laughter, no more small touch. He began staying out late, coming home smelling of perfumes that wasn't hers. He locked his phone, started ignoring her text. Banji stopped sleeping on the same bed with her. One day, Diola asked him, "What is going on? I know someone else is carrying your child, but the distance is killing me." Banji simply said, "Don't stress me. I have more important things on my mind." Alaba taught his son control his life and his home, and Banji he learned too well. He started doing things deliberately to haunt her. He will take calls from Mola on speakerphone, laughing loudly so Diola could hear. One night, Diola told him they need to talk. He refused to say anything. "I have nothing to discuss with you. Look at yourself. You are fat. You are shapeless. You are not even attractive. You look like a pig." That night, Diola cried herself to sleep, not because she was weak, but because she still loved him. She still hoped, still prayed. The worst came one Sunday morning at church. Alaba stood up during testimony time. "I just want to thank God for Mola, who is carrying our first grandchild. After all this time, he has finally remembered our family." The congregation clapped politely. Deola stood frozen beside Banji, burning with shame. Some looked at her with pity, others with judgment. When they got home, she asked Banji, "Why your mother humiliated me like that in the front of the church?" Banji simply replied, "If you had done your job as wife, she wouldn't need to." They stopped telling her anything. No family news, no updates. Alaba even tried to take her wedding ring from her one day, saying, "You don't deserve it," she said. "You are just occupying space for now." Banji did nothing. He watched his wife break pieces by pieces and stay silent. Deola stopped talking, stopped smiling. She moved like a shadow in the house she once called home. But deep inside, behind the pain, behind the heart broken, a fire had started. One morning, she noticed the tea. Banji was rushing to work, and the powder was not well grounded. She saw the powder settle at the bottom. She kept quiet and investigate, and find out the drugs was to prevent her from having a child. Deola was broken and could not believe it all. The next morning, while they were having breakfast, Banji served her the tea as usual. She held the cup, smiling softly, and said, "How long have you and your mother been drugging me?" Banji caught off guard, laughed nervously. "What are you talking about?" he asked. Then she replied, "About the powder in my tea." His face changed, cold and hard. "Well, since you know everything," he said, standing tall. Deola stood up slowly. "Will you tell me you didn't know about Mola's fake pregnancy?" Banji cut her off. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Have you lost it?" "No," she replied. "All the morning sickness, the vomiting, holding her belly in pain is because she learned the role well." Banji shouted, "I've had enough of your nonsense. You can pack your things. You are going back to where you came from. We are getting a divorce." Alaba wasted no time. "Good," she screamed. My son will marry someone with class now. Deola said nothing. She left that day with just a small bag and a head held high. What they didn't know was that Deola came from wealthy, very old quiet money. Her father had passed years ago, leaving a large wealth in land shares and international business to her and her elder brother Ojo, the CEO of the one of the biggest company in West Africa. Diola never tell anyone her background. She wants a simple life, a real love. And they never knew the company where Banji worked. Immediately they got married, Diola told Ojo to employ him in one of their biggest company. Diola told her elder brother everything that happened. Then Ojo decided to pay back, even when Diola told him not to. And after Diola was thrown out, Mola's story started to fall apart. Missed appointments, no visible belly. Banji began to notice and asked Mola. Mola, he called, you have been pregnant for 5 months. Mola, where is the belly? Mola laughed, dramatically waving her hand. Oh, it is just a small belly. Some women carry small. One day, he followed her to a supposed doctor appointment. She wasn't at the clinic. She was in a bar, laughing, shopping with another man. Diola, Banji called from behind. He confronted her. She broke down. I lied, she screamed. I only did it because I love you. I thought if I could keep you, you will leave her. He slapped his own forehead, unable to believe the depth of betrayal. The pregnancy had never been real. The baby I spent all my entire life expecting to meet was all a game. He fell to his knee, crying bitterly. What about the woman he abandoned? She was the only one who had never lied to him. Banji was promoted the next day. He kicked Diola out of his house, unaware to him that it was a trap. He was placed in charge of a major contract. Ojo made sure every step of the deal was carefully manipulated. So when the project failed, all the blame came crashing down on Banji. He was fired, sued. His accounts were frozen. His reputation was dragged through the dirty. Mola, upon seeing her golden gozes ruined, she vanished, and yes, she was never pregnant. Then he found out that the CEO was Diola's elder brother, who she had never mentioned to anyone. Banji returned to his mother's house, disgraced, broke and heartbroken. We need to beg Diola, Alaba said, crying bitterly. We didn't know. We were wrong. But Diola, she was living her best life. Banji and his mother went back to square one. Live in a cracked house. Banji understood what he had lost. Not just a good wife or savior, but a queen. A woman who all his good lives had depended on without him knowing anything. Thank you for watching this video. Moral lesson: never underestimate the quiet ones, and never play with someone who has been silently watching while you thought you had the upper hand. Kindly share your thoughts with me in the comment section. What lesson did you learn from this story? Share this story with your loved ones. And please subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye.